Davis.
Oh my God, disrespectful.
Shout out Klay Thompson for going against the family tradition. The dynasty was over for Golden State. He wanted out. It looked like he'd be a shoe-in for the LA Lakers. His dad played on the Lakers. His dad is actually currently now on the broadcast team.
Mm-hmm.
His dad could literally be talking about his son play games, but he took less money because he's like, I don't want to play with Braun. I don't want to play with Bronny. I don't want to play with Street Clothes Davis. I want Luka and Kyrie, baby. Third option. Let's go. No longer will Derrick Jones Jr. be bricking threes in the corner. It'll be Klay Thompson going 0 for 10. No, I'm just kidding.
It's so crazy.
It's so mean
Flip
to him.
flop. It's so mean of him. You loved Derrick Jones Jr. before, but
I still love Derrick Jones Jr. He signed like a 3-year, $30 million deal with the Clippers. He will be missed. We do appreciate you, Derrick Jones Jr. The truth, you're the dunk goat. But it's time for Klay Day.
It's time for Klay Day. So I mean, we'll go down all of these teams right here, and it's a couple more teams, but we're gonna stick to these teams. So with the Mavs just got Klay. You know, they lost Derrick. They got Klay. They lost Green. They lost Timmy. So I mean, with this whole situation, I mean, this is a whole new Mavs team. It's not every. You don't have to worry.
They got most of the same guys.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. You got PJ.
They got Quentin Grimes that was on the
Lively.
Knicks to replace Green, so he'll be a bench player that could shoot threes a little more consistent and play just as good defense. And then they got what his name was it Agensa?
Jensa. True, but I mean, with this whole situation, you want like it used to be a double threat. Like they had Derrick Jones out and Lively out there, or it was like Lively. It was like Gafford or like Derrick out there, and it was like alleys. Everywhere you can go, it could have been the alley. But with this new
They're
person,
still getting the alleys. PJ catching alleys.
but the new person they just picked up is
Gafford's catching alleys.
Who's the new person?
Lively's catching alleys.
the new person you just signed to the Mavs. I think his name was
Yeah, it was
Marshall.
Like
What's his name? Marshall
hold on, I'm pulling up his name. I'm having a
for the Mavericks.
yeah.
So they I know they signed him. I mean, he look like he can barely jump. I really didn't see him shoot the ball that good. So I mean, he look he can really pass. He can pass. I mean, it's another ball.
Yeah, he was on the Pelicans. He's a pretty good passer. He's a better 3-point shooter than Derrick Jones as well. And of course, so is Klay. So we upgraded our 3-point shooting. I think he's definitely going to be a big part of what Dallas does.
Yeah, I still got Kleber, right?
Kleber's still there.
So I mean, that can be another trade piece. I can see him getting traded. But while my co-host looking for that, who else I can see? I mean, who else would y'all need? I think y'all. Kyrie's good. Kyrie's clutch.
I mean, I don't really think we need another trade. I mean, I think like we kind of address the things we got. We'll see how this team goes. Where they'll have a full
I think you're more suspect
camp.
on defense though, because I mean, y'all wasn't.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, what am I saying, Jensa? Najee Marshall.
I knew it was Marshall something.
Yeah, Najee Marshall, 3-year, $27 million
From Pelicans.
from the Pelicans.
From the
He
Pelicans.
could either start and bring Klay off the bench if you want to do more defense, and or if you want to start Klay, but then like maybe he goes to the bench quick type of thing, or you might do that with Kyrie because Kyrie kind of plays the same position as Luka. Have them all three start, and then only like a few minutes into the game, Kyrie goes to the bench to get some rest, and you bring in Najee Marshall to play the 3 and move Klay to the 2.
I can see that. And then moving on to the other team, you got Philly. Philly, you know they got PG, Paul George. You know
God.
they were. I think Tyrese, not Tyrese.
Tobias Harris went to
is-
Detroit.
Went back to Detroit because he's
That's
already
ridiculous. He just wanted his money. That's the only team that was going to pay him.
exactly. I mean,
They're required to spend so much of their salary cap, so they actually had to give out a couple decent deals.
that's horrible. So you mean with them, the Philly? I mean with them, they re-signed Kelly Oubre.
Yep.
So I mean they they a little better. I mean I like Paul George way better than Tobias. They say this Paul George last year's season he played more games than he played the years before. So
I got to take a look at the roster to see who's going to play power forward, because I know Maxey will be the 1, Kelly will be the 2, Paul George will be the 3, and then somebody play the 4, and then Joel play the 5. So I'll have to take a look at the roster to see who they got to play the 4.
true, and then also they're saying the money that they gave Paul George is the same money that they promised to give James Harden.
Oh yeah, that James Harden wanted.
That's the one that James Harden won. So that's gonna be funny when the Clippers play the Philly. We're gonna see how that game goes. And then in San Antonio, man, shout out to San Antonio signing Chris Paul, to the Spurs. I mean, him and Victor. I mean, they gonna ball out. I can see him teaching them a lot. Teaching them basically getting them wide open for the spot up
It's
three.
so funny because it's like a lot of the Chris Paul haters were like were celebrating because they're like, this is a cap on Chris Paul's career, basically admitting that he's never gonna win a ring.
Basically,
He's fine to be like the vet,
he gonna be a trainer now.
throwing lobs to Wemby. But he signed on a 1 year, $11 million deal. I really don't know of any other team that was going to give him more than like $5 million. So that's probably why the Spurs were so bad that they paid him so much to come there.
You
But it's only
basically
a 1 million. I mean, a 1 year deal and 11 million. So
you just basically brought a card that's going you automatically know it's gonna break down because if you make it to the playoffs, he finna
they
get
still ain't making the playoffs.
he's still finna get
or
injured.
playing.
I mean, but it shows that when they got Wemby, I think with Wemby they lost what 10 few they lost 10 more games than they did the year before. But I mean, with Chris Paul, I can see them winning at least.
They said that every year that Chris Paul's joined the team that their winning percentage has gone up from the year before.
So Chris Paul.
So we'll see. Especially I think it'll be easy since the Spurs kind of took a step back with Wemby rather than a step forward, that he can kind of get them at least to where they were, if not maybe more. So who knows? Maybe he'll win like 15 more games than last year, but they'll still be a non-playing team or barely maybe getting close to being playing.
And then speaking about Chris Paul and Klay, I mean the crazy part is the Warriors. What is the Warriors gonna do now? They're trying to get they're gonna get Zach LaVine for Andrew Wiggins and Chris Paul. They dubbed that. So I mean
They said now that the either the Spurs or Golden State are actually going after Lauri Markkanen, the kind of wannabe Porzingis type player. So we'll see.
What he's gonna be? He's a center.
Well, that's what they say.
I mean, he's gonna be power. I mean,
he really can play either one,
but he can't play Draymond.
He's played 4 or 5. He'll probably be the 5 if he's of course playing with Draymond. If he goes to the Spurs, he could. They'd be like they're both. They would probably be like the same.
I mean, the 4.
They'll probably alternate on who's guarding who. Probably on the thicker guy, Laurie will guard because he has more weight.
I mean, true. I mean, that'd be some hella weapons on that team. And then you got the New York Knicks has been surprising me, even though they lost a center.
Oh yeah, Harkenstein went to OKC. They paid him a lot of money. I'm surprised that OKC was going to pay him that much money. I guess they want to move Chet from center to power forward. I think he's too skinny.
True, and then so with that situation, I mean they just signed Mikal Bridges, who came from the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, the
Nova Knicks are here,
Mr.
baby.
Chipotle.
I think that I'm surprised that they're keeping. Mitchell Robinson was their starter, so hopefully he'll be healthy, and that way they won't have to worry about Harkenstein because Harkenstein really killed it in all the games he played, stepping in for Mitchell since he was hurt all the time. But then you also got Julius Randle because they got so many guards and forwards. Julius Randle is going to have to play center. So I think you would actually play start Mitchell Robinson and bring Julius Randle off the bench as a backup center.
Julius Randle's not coming off the bench.
He can't be a backup center?
He's going to be starting power forward, starting 4.
But then you're paying OG all that money.
Listen, I mean, basically,
I thought OG's the starting 4.
So basically, what's going to happen now is that
because now they got Mikal Bridges too, so you're going to make DiVincenzo and Hart.
They trade Julius Randle.
You think DiVincenzo and Hart are both going to come off the bench?
No, most likely they finna trade. They finna trade Hart. I think Hart's finna leave with Randle. They're gonna get traded in the middle of the season.
They're not going to break up this like super friends.
I mean, because I don't know who's going to take Julius Randle for straight up. It just depends on who's going to trade him for straight up.
I think they should trade Julius Randle.
For what?
For
you need a center?
A backup center.
What a backup center for Julius?
Because Mitchell Robinson is the starting center.
So you probably going to get with Steven Adams in the package deal?
If I was the Knicks owner,
get Grant Williams.
I would have Jalen Brunson.
Send him the Portland.
I would have Jalen Brunson be the starting 1. I would have DiVincenzo as a 2. I'd have Mikal as the 3, OG as a 4, and Mitchell Robinson as the center. And then you have Josh Hart coming off the bench with Marcus McBride, and then you trade Julius Randle for maybe two players. because he's like an all-star level player. You get like a backup small forward, power forward, and a backup center.
Well, so I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna do Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG, Randall, and then the center.
And then have Hart and DiVincenzo come off the bench.
Hart and Chenzo coming off the bench. I mean, Hart was coming off the bench anyway. And Chenzo was already coming off the bench.
You think DiVincenzo's gonna like that
He's
after he had the year he had last year? He was a starter.
He's not taller. He's not taller than any of them. He's not better than Julius Randle. He's not better than Mikal Bridges. He's not better than OG.
I would say DiVincenzo's better than Randle right now.
He's not stronger than Randle.
I didn't say he's tall.
Exactly. You need somebody to go. I mean, most likely how they're going to set their team up. They're going to set their team up to beat Philly.
Julius Randle's the odd man out, and
he's
they should trade him.
He's basically going to get traded. I can see it now. He can't. They're going to trade him for something. I mean, most likely they may get something that they don't even need. But, yeah, they need to trade. They need to get Grant or...
From Portland?
Yeah, get Grant from Portland or get...
yeah, that'd be another good four.
I don't know. I mean... I can't even think about it.
Yeah, you can use... I would use Randle to get two players. Get a backup center and a backup three for Randle. Because he makes so much money, you could probably get two medium players that equal his contract.
True.
So that's what I would do. There's been some other moves. Andre Drummond.
DeAndre Jordan to the team.
Drummond went to Philly as well. He's going to back up.
They're not trading Philly then.
He's going to break up Joel Embiid. Or back up Joel Embiid. So it'll be interesting, man. And what do you feel about the Lakers? They said LeBron was going to take less money to bring in Klay. Klay ends up going to Dallas, but now the Lakers turn their eyes to DeMar DeRozan. Now, to me, I actually like DeMar DeRozan as a player, so it's not a slight. But I think he's a terrible fit for the Lakers because I think the number one thing that the Lakers needed was shooting, and here's another guy that's terrible at threes that takes a lot of twos.
Man, I just feel like we're not going to get nobody because the NBA hates the LA Lakers. Look how they did Murray. We wanted Murray, and then they was like, oh no, we want Austin Reeves, we want AD, we want AD and Hachimura, and then they just turned around and gave him away for a bag of Cheetos. In the second round draft pick. Make it make sense. Like, how you charge us so much to get him, but then you turn around and give him away. Like, it don't make any sense at all. I mean, Atlanta and LA, we're not in the same conference in the same division. Like, why don't y'all play? Y'all should at least play ball, but they don't want to see us win. I guess they're still hating on LeBron because LeBron and the Cavs used to beat them every time.
You gonna go with me, Coach, to a Spurs game and slander Chris Paul?
Of course.
Like, you suck. Cliff Paul is better.
Horrible. But comment down below how you feel about these free agency moves. Man, shout out to my dog, Jason Tatum. Highest paid NBA player right now. Biggest salary. My code's ahead. He finna say some hating stuff.
He sucks. I saw the number one comment is, how you going to pay that to a role player?
You a hater.
They said he ain't worth it. They said that's Jaylen Brown money.
He did good one playoff, and I'm like, y'all all on it. Y'all glazing him too hard.
He didn't do good this playoffs. He's had two bad finals.
I'm talking about Jalen.
Oh.
Everyone's
glazing.
Yeah, exactly. Because just last year, I was like, oh, Jalen got no left. He got no left.
He still has no left.
And then look at y'all now.
Right.
Horrible. But comment down below, let me know how you feel about this.